it is my honor to welcome you to Ignite 2025. Our contestants have worked tirelessly, it's been a long day, tirelessly to get here, and tonight will determine which business takes home $95,000 in total prize money. It all comes down to this, the Ignite Rural Business Contest Grand Finale, live from the beautiful Crest Theater in downtown Great Bend. A warm welcome to everyone here in the audience, and to all of our viewers that are tuning in online at greatbendpost.com and igniteks.com. Hello, Mom. We've got an incredible night of innovation, inspiration, and fierce competition ahead. Before we dive into our first presentation, again, I would like to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm your host, Shannon Towns. In case you didn't get that the first time, sometimes, especially men, need to be told twice. It's been my pleasure to MC this incredible event for the past 3 years, and I can tell you the excitement in the room tonight is contagious. This is sure to be our best one yet. So now, before we meet our finalists, we'd like to recognize our generous sponsors that have made this competition happen. We're going to hear more about all of these sponsors throughout the evening. Now, it is time to meet our judges. This year, they are new. We've got experts who will decide who tonight's winners are. So, please welcome to the stage, Chad Summers, respected community leader and entrepreneur. Sarah Bloom, business and community development champion. And Mike Johnson, Barton County Community College trustee and experienced business owner. Thank you all for joining us tonight. So from 17 original applicants, we narrowed down the field to 10 semifinalists. And now, 5 just remain. Our finalists will have 10 minutes to do their presentation about their businesses, followed by 10 minutes of questions, followed by our judges. Now, let's get started. Excuse me. Wait for them to go. All right. Contestant 1, Coach K9.
Let them go first.
I am Brooke Schmidt. I am the owner of Coach K9 Training Academy. We offer training in group. I am Brooke Schmidt. I am the owner of Coach K9 Training Academy. We offer training and grooming services, and you should pick me for Great Bend Ignite Challenge, so that way we can keep offering training services and grooming services for our local community. Thank you.
Come here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cutie. Come on.
He knows what's in that sack.
Place. Place.
Do you have a dog that is crazy when people come over, constantly jumping on them or trying to bowl out the door when they walk in? Or can't take your dog on a walk because it feels like they're walking you instead? Well, we are here to help. I am Brooke Schmidt. I am the owner of Coach K9 Training Academy. This is my mom, April Steinert. She is our office manager. And here we have Chloe and Rocky, my supervisors. Coach K9 offers training services for dogs of all ages and breeds. We use training methods personalized to your dog's needs to help build a strong, positive relationship with them. And we also started offering grooming services. I've grown up being around dogs my whole life and always had a passion for working with them. I started working for a vet clinic while I was in high school, thinking I wanted to be a vet. After working there for a couple of years, I saw there was a much higher need for a dog trainer in our area. I would see many owners who would constantly struggle handling their dogs. Seeing how frustrating this made them inspired me to focus on training. I went to Starmark Training Academy in Hutto, Texas for a 4-month-long program where I obtained my Master Canine Trainer and Behavior Specialist certificate. I returned back to this area in 2021 and opened Coach K9. An opportunity came around shortly after I returned, and I started working for No Limits Kennels, training hunting dogs and expanding my knowledge. I eventually wanted to start offering more services and became a Canine Good Citizen Evaluator and got my grooming certificate. One of the services I offer are private lessons. Private lessons are one-on-one in-home lessons where I come to you. This is a great service for aggressive dogs who can't be around other people or dogs, or where your dog is only having problems in their home. For private lessons, I do travel up to 60 miles from Great Bend, and I also offer them in the evenings, which is great for people who don't get off till 5 and can't make morning or afternoon appointments. Another service we offer is group class. Group class is a 6-week-long course. I typically have 8 to 10 people per class, that way I can help out when needed. For group class, our main focus is obedience, and I do offer basic and advanced classes. This is our most requested service. And then currently, we also offer virtual training and grooming.
One of our future services we plan to offer is doggy daycare. Doggy daycare is just how it sounds. Drop your dog off in the morning and pick up before we close. A fun day filled with play and socializing. It's the perfect alternative for a long day alone. Another future service we plan to offer is Board and Train. Board and Train is typically a 3-week program where your dog stays at our facility and receives structured training. This service allows training for those busy pet parents who can't make it to group classes or private lessons. We also plan to offer overnight boarding. We do frequently receive requests for these 3 services, but currently our time and limited space does not allow us to offer it. However, with business growth, we plan to add these valuable services for our local pet parents.
Here's a short video of a food-aggressive dog I worked with in the past. He would not let me anywhere near him anytime he had a food or bone. Watch closely. So as you can see in the video, I am using a fake hand for my safety, and when I would get near his bone, he would attack it. After 6 weeks of training, I was able to help him overcome this behavior. Here in the video, you can see me petting him while he's eating, and I'm also able to take away his food bowl without him snapping or growling at me, just in 6 weeks. Once he completed the training with me, his owners couldn't even believe it was the same dog. And this right here is exactly why I love what I do. being able to help owners be safe around their dog and keep them rather than get euthanized or dumped on the streets. Knowing I can be a part of this change is what drives me every day. To fill the gap of our slow months, I run a deer tracking service. My skills have led me to train Chloe how to track deer for when a hunter enters a deer but can't find where it laid to rest. This is a huge reward for hunters to help find their trophy buck and plan to fill their freezers full of meat.
Did you know there are approximately 13,000 households in Great Bend, Boisington, and Ellenwood? Around 40% of those have at least one dog. That's more than 5,000 dogs. Now, this isn't including Claflin and other rural Barton County residents. Me personally, I have 3 dogs, and Brooke has 4, and I'm guessing a lot of the audience also has more than one dog, right? Yeah, there's definitely more than 5,000 dogs in our area.
So our main target market is going to be dog owners in general. More specifically, owners who struggle with behavior problems or overall just want a well-mannered dog. It can be very stressful to have an aggressive dog in the house, always worrying about them biting someone or attacking another dog. I have worked with several cases in the past where a dog has attacked another person and had gotten to the point where these owners were getting sued. I was able to help these owners by providing structured training to show they can be under control. I was able to write letters to the court saying they received proper training and these dogs were safe from getting euthanized. One of my specialties I offer is a Canine Good Citizen certificate. So Canine Good Citizen is a 10-skill test dog owners can take to show they are a responsible dog owner and have control over their dog. This test also shows that they're not aggressive or fearful. Nowadays, many school districts have therapy dogs on site to provide companionship and comfort for their students. I have worked with most of the therapy dogs in this area, and this test is a great way to show they're suitable for going into schools with kids. In the Barton County area, there are 2 trainers we are aware of. One specializing in hunting training, and the only other trainer only offering basic obedience in a group class environment. While there are several grooming providers, most are no longer accepting new clients or have wait times extending 6 months to a year. This presents a strong opportunity for a full-service dog care business to meet growing demands for pet services. Having well-behaved dogs makes a safer and less stressful community, not only for people, but other dogs as well. We've had very positive feedback on our training, and the results speak for themselves. These are just a couple of our customer reviews. So our clients come from word of mouth, Facebook, and Google. We also have a very strong relationship with some of the local vets and rescues, which helps us build client trust and expand our reach in the community.
Our number 1 priority is to secure funding for a new facility. This will come through a combination of the $50,000 prize, a business loan, and personal equity. Having the right space is absolutely essential. We do have a few options for a building that fit in our budget. There's a building for sale in Great Bend that would allow us to expand our services, and we have also received a couple of estimates for a steel building, and we've included those estimates in your packet. Looking into the next few years, with the new building in town, we'll be able to offer even more for our clients and their dogs. Doggy daycare, overnight boarding, and board and train programs will give pets a safe and fun place to stay while adding value for their families. Group classes are currently held outdoors, so we are very limited to only offering them in the late spring and early fall due to the weather. With the building, they can be held year-round. Also, grooming and group classes currently take place 10 minutes outside of Great Bend. Being located in town in Great Bend will make it more convenient for our clients with easier drop-offs. We know how much you love your dogs, and we're here to make life with them even better. That's why we aim to be your one-stop shop. From treats and toys to grooming and training, we do it all.
So as you can see here from our growth timeline, winning the $50,000 and acquiring a building will be the game changer. Once that's in place, the doors open for us to expand our services that will increase our client base, grow our team, and take Coach K9 to the next level. Our first year with the building and adding in doggy daycare, boarding, and more group classes, we are projecting $95,000 in revenue with a net margin around 33%. After just adding 2 sessions of board and train a month in year 2, we are increasing our net margins to 43%. And by year 3, our margins increase close to 50%. Our expenses shown here do include a part-time employee.
While economic factors have impacted consumer spending, specifically pet grooming and boarding services have had remarkable growth in the current period. IBIS World states that revenue will continue to grow at a projected rate of 2% to an estimated $17.1 billion over the next 5 years.
Working with dogs has been a dream of mine since I was a kid. Watching my dreams come alive through Coach Canine has been incredible. With strong demand for quality pet care, we're excited of what's ahead. Our plan for expansion will help us reach more clients, strengthen our team, and keep improving the way we serve our community and their dogs. The video playing on the screen is a small glimpse of the hands-on training I did in school in Texas, an experience that helped shape the trainer I am today.
Other competitors may offer food and fun, but we offer something in the community that the community really needs: safety, structure, and a second chance for dogs. With your vote, we can keep dogs off the streets, in homes, and strengthen the community where it really matters. Thank you all for your support.
Thank you.
I was curious, you mentioned your training. How common is it for other trainers to be certified like you are? Is that pretty common, or?
Not really. So I learned a ton at school, and it was great that it was hands-on. I feel like there's programs online that you can go on and get certified to be a trainer, but I think what really matters is the hands-on and working with every dog. Every dog takes to training different, and sometimes they need different methods than others. So I think hands-on is usually the best, but so not many trainers do, but having that certificate just helps people know that we are certified and in the training side.
Great job, Brooke and April. I really love your experience. I had a question, 17-year-old boys, any training there at all?
No, sorry,
No?
no
Okay.
husbands and no children.
Something to
Only
consider.
dogs,
Something
sorry.
to consider, yeah. You mentioned you'd have a kennel attendant, maybe a part-time person coming on. Right now, it's you two.
And
When
I
you
work
add
for
these,
free.
and you work for free, which doesn't last forever. And so, when you're adding these services, a lot of overnight services, you mentioned a 3-week services, now it's rolling into the weekends and overnight. I mean, what happens to who's coming in, the succession plan on those sick days, those vacations you desperately need? How are you going to handle that from a succession planning perspective?
So that would be with a part-time help and then me. So in the past, I did do board and train. I did offer board and train and boarding out of my house, but it just wasn't working out. So I don't offer that anymore. So it does, I know how much time a dog needs. You have to be late let-outs and early mornings, but there's such a need around here that I think we'll stay busy with it. And my family's always grateful to help out when needed if somebody is sick or somebody's out of town, and they're always great help for us.
You've mentioned that this is a need for the community. Have you talked to community members outside of your customer base on what they're looking for and why? Can you show the need of this? And then I had another question as far as the certifications that you're offering too. Is that something you're working with the city and county on? Do they recognize those certificates? Does that hold weight in the communities that you're serving?
Brooke has been kind of mentoring with Dr. Ty at AMC, and so that has been a huge help. And the area vets have really referred a lot of their patients to Brooke, which has been amazing. And as far as needing certification in the county, we have, Brooke, you want to talk about the state kennel license?
So with the boarding, you do have to be certified to run a proper boarding facility, and I believe with the county also. So that's something we would have to reach out to them too. But more for client side of it, like advertising, I've just been so busy that we haven't expanded our reach with advertising because right now I can't take more on myself. So adding in that part-time help would help be able to take on more dogs so we can open our client base even more than what it is now.
Talk me through a little bit of the financial side of it. I noticed, like, for example, the grooming supplies you had, I think you had $5,000. You're already grooming, right?
Yes.
So is this just for the expansion or is there new equipment that's out? Talk me through some of that.
She has her grooming equipment mostly. She would like to purchase a backup set of
Clippers.
to have a
Table.
backup in case they do break while she's grooming. She can not have to cancel the groom. So she needs a backup equipment. So she has the equipment, but the ongoing expenses with grooming is shampoo. And we figured, I don't think it's in the presentation, but we figured out how much per groom, how much shampoo costs per groom, how much cleaning supplies cost per groom, how much time it takes per groom. We've really been through the spreadsheet process with Susan Pinka. She was a huge help going through, thinking of all of the things that we, just as regular people have not thought about. But she's really helped us narrow down our expenses and think of things that, oh, well, guess that is an expense, like gas to go to private lessons. That's an expense. Gas to go deer tracking, that's an expense. So we do have all of those extra expenses added into our expenses on our spreadsheet.
And with the training side, training, you don't need equipment. All it is brains. So adding in more training services, it doesn't increase our expenses as much. Now the grooming is a little bit more, like she was saying, with the shampoo, but the training is just all hands-on. They usually buy the equipment themselves. That way they can buy the right stuff that fits their dog.
I have 2 high-maintenance doodles, and they are the dogs that go crazy when people arrive, so this is fantastic. Thank you for the
Yes.
presentation.
Thank you.
So this place would be perfect for when your dogs go crazy, because learning the place, it teaches them, this is their safe space. When they're here, as you can tell, I was scared that Rocky was going to throw up everywhere, but he's comfortable. He's on his dog bed. So once you learn place, it's easy after that.
Looking forward, I think boarding could be a huge part of what your potential is. Explain a little bit about your vision on the boarding. Are you talking about having what size boarding cages? Are you talking about having boarding rooms? Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the building we're looking at has a room that we would work for the kennels. Although with the state of Kansas, their kenneling license, you have to have proper sizing for kennel spaces for dogs. That way it's not inhumane to have them in a small kennel. So we plan to just have all big cages, 5x5s at least, if not bigger, just so when we do get those big dogs in and need that space, we have it available, and then a little dog can also go in those kennels also. But yeah, the building we're looking at has a separate room for that kenneling to where we can close it out.
I know another big part of that. My son comes from Casper, Wyoming. He boards his dog. He's able to get on his phone and log in to the website and actually look at his dog anytime he wants to. So that's,
Yes,
he
the
really,
cameras.
and I don't think that probably would be a huge expense
Yeah,
added.
that's a great idea that we could add to our list.
Yeah.
'Cause that would be awesome.
That would make pet parents feel safer when they're away and they can check on their dog when they want to.
So I haven't looked at your building proposals, but one thing when I was looking at your business plan, you said $145,000 for a building, which at $150 a square foot, that might get you 900 square feet. That's a 30 by 30? Is that enough of an expansion for you from where you're at, or?
So we're really focusing on, there's a building on 10th Street for sale right now. That's 130. So we're really focusing on getting that. In the packet, the building that we priced out to build is a 40 by 60. So, and then we also plan for starting out with that. If we need to expand in the future with a metal building, it's easy to expand. You can just add on easily instead of like a brick building that's a little bit harder. The metal building will be easier to add on to.
We do have a list of all of the extras that come along with the building, like plumbing, electrical, HVAC. Some really quick estimates are listed. It's very expensive, just like you said, to have a building. So this is why we're really hoping to win the $55,000 and to be able to buy that building that's for sale on 10th Street right now.
Sure.
And get going quicker instead of having to wait to build.
If you have to build, did you mention where it's going to be located?
No, that's something we would look at property. We've already been looking at some property. We didn't add that into our expenses because the different property ranges. So that would be an additional expense, but we just have to find a lot that, if it's in town, at least commercial use, that way we're in there.
The last thing I have for you is just, creating and maintaining a digital strategy is expensive. I didn't see that in your use of funds anywhere. It looks like you've been doing some of that, but as you expand into these other service areas, you got to tell the world about that. So What's your plan?
Go ahead.
Basically advertising.
Yeah.
Well, like she said, she's been busy, and we really haven't needed to spend money on advertising. We did pay for the electronic billboard on 10th and McKinley for the cheapest version that they had, so it showed for 8 seconds, and nobody really saw it. We'd like to get a billboard. For online, we do a lot of Facebook and Instagram posts. I would love to do TikTok live shows. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
wave of the
Yeah.
future nowadays. But
My 2 cents at the risk of offending the advertiser, it's the content, publish your
Yeah.
own content, use
Yep.
those free streams,
Yeah.
that's all you need. But you got to put effort behind it at the end of the day, so.
yeah, we try to do a lot of videos when she's training. Take a video so we can
Yep.
see what you're doing or when you're grooming. So we do a lot of free social media stuff as much as we can.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
Thank you,
job.
guys.
That was a fantastic start to our evening. If Coach K9 Training Academy is your pick for People's Choice of $5,000, now is your chance to vote. You can scan the QR code right here on the screen or in your program, or enter the code shown on the screen as well. Every vote counts. Up next, we're going to hear from Ben Wranglers, but first, a quick word from one of our sponsors.
Kansas is designed to support high-growth, scalable entrepreneurs in Kansas raising equity capital and looking for co-investment. Our portfolio companies range from pre-seed to Series A and are innovating in industries from ag tech to medical devices and consumer products to software as a service. Grow Kansas co-invests alongside private investment to support Kansas companies and help them get plugged in with the resources and people that they need. With investment potential from $50,000 to $250,000, the program bolsters the Kansas innovation ecosystem and fills the needed capital gap while also playing the part of an entrepreneurship support organization. Traditional transactions include convertible debt, safes, and price equity rounds, usually in the form of preferred stock. Funds have been made available through the Federal State Small Business Credit Initiative in our partnership with the Kansas Department of Commerce. Grow Kansas helps to promote the mission of connecting small businesses and entrepreneurs with expertise, educational, and economic resources throughout the state. Get looped in with Grow Kansas and the entrepreneurship ecosystem by going to our website or reaching out to us by phone or email.
or head over to our Facebook page, shoot us a message. We're going to get you set up, drop off a bin, and add you to our route. From there, we handle the rest. You never have to touch it, track it, or think about it again. Just throw your trash away and forget about it. Now, we're not here to compete with the other guys, because really we're creating something completely different, something better. But the Bin Wranglers isn't just a better alternative to what's already out there, because we're trying to set a new standard, raising the bar for what customers should expect. And that's reliable pickups, clean bins, and actual customer service. And companies that can't offer this level of service are going to get left behind. So, now the fun stuff, what everybody wants to hear. If we're awarded the $50,000 tonight, this is exactly how we're going to invest it. $38,000 is going to go towards a commercial bin cleaning rig. And this is because right now, our current cleaning method, we can only clean 2 bins per hour. And it's pretty expensive. It's $11 per bin, and that does include labor, but it's not very efficient. This new cleaning rig is going to change everything. It will allow us to clean 10 bins per hour with the exact same labor cost, making us 5 times faster and way more efficient, and actually capable of scaling. With the other $12,000, we're going to be investing in a dump bed for the back of one of our trucks. This is going to double our load capacity. And really, right now, we have one trailer for both garbage pickup and junk removal. With this one upgrade, we're going to be able to do both of those services at the same time. So this isn't just extra equipment. This is infrastructure that we need to be able to get the job done, get it done right, and scale and grow as a company for the community. So, with that being said, what is the long-term vision? Well, there are 1.3 million households in the state of Kansas, and our goal is to serve 10% of that market. That's 130,000 customers. Now, I'd like to, but we can't do that overnight. So, for the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to shoot for 20,000. Because this isn't just a small town idea. This is a scalable, repeatable, high-margin business, and most importantly, we're solving a problem that no one else is solving. And this is going to be the standard in the next 30 years. Now, we're not just taking out the trash. We're taking out everything wrong with the way it's been done. No more missed pickups, no more dirty bins, and no more companies that don't care. And with your help, we're going to show the entire world what's possible when we stop settling for the way it's always been done. Thank you.
Just curious, looking at your competitors, recently there's a big player that's entered the market, Nisley out of Hutchinson, bought out a local. How do you see that affecting your business plan?
Honestly, it affects us very nicely because, no pun intended, nicely. It does affect us very nicely because originally our biggest competition was loyalty. Everybody told me the exact same thing. I do a lot of door knocking, a lot of flyers. Number one thing I hear is, I've known him for 10 plus years. He's my guy. I don't care how good you are. Now, they don't know that guy, so I don't have a problem.
I appreciate how passionate you are, by the way, about your business. That's critical, I think, to any entrepreneur's success, so kudos to you on that. You list your primary and secondary competitors in your business plan, and they have significant market share in Great Bend, and I'm assuming also Barton County. Your fee structure compared to theirs is approximately 2.5 times more expensive. Do you have any data from other markets that suggest perhaps anywhere else in the United States that your value proposition is strong enough to come over that significantly higher price differential?
Right, and thank you. So I don't necessarily have statistics, but we can see in other markets that there are very massive companies doing individual services of bin cleaning and also rolling out. There are companies that make millions of dollars a year, and all they do is roll bins out for people. And then there's people that make millions of dollars a year doing bin cleaning. And I actually started out doing bin cleaning, and that went very, very well. In fact, I was comparing my numbers to the biggest company that does the bin cleanings, and I actually tripled their first year in my first 3 months with the amount of business we were doing. So I don't have statistics, but my gut tells me that we're going to be just fine.
As you look at expanding, how are you going to compete with cities where it's already offered? It's included with their water bill, it's included with the city services. They're also getting recycling with it. How does that play into your business plan?
Yeah, so we actually would do the exact same thing that those companies, so I guess let's break that down. Are you talking about city-ran trash or
Yes.
people who are contracted through the city?
City-ran
Okay.
services.
Yeah, so if the city owns it, well, then there's not really a whole lot we could do. We could walk in there and say, hey, we'd like to do this for you. Here's the kickback we'll give you. But realistically, I mean, it's not necessarily something that we need to approach. There are enough cities that don't have that we could just compete for the bidding for the whole city. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of how we would deal with that.
Following up on that, do you know, you mentioned 1.3 million households, is it?
1.3, yeah.
Do you know how many of those are covered by municipality and how many are covered by private service?
You know, I actually do not.
Okay.
That's a good question.
So a logistics question. So I'm thinking through my mind, at my house, you're going to need the code in my garage. And then you're also going to have to move my wife's car out, drag the bin out, move my wife's car back in, shut the garage, bring it down to the curb. You know, that's probably a 10-minute process. I mean, have you contemplated the fact? I mean, just accessing people's houses. I mean, not everybody keeps their trash on the side of their house, so it's...
Right. Yeah, and so that is a little bit of an obstacle, but we do have customers who keep it in the garage, and unfortunately they can't completely forget about trash day. They just have to bring it right outside their garage. So rather than you taking it all the way down and doing that whole process, you just have to do half that process. So
That leads to your question.
Well, I mean, I was just curious, more on the financials. How much does a bin cost you, each bin?
yes, so we have to buy them in bulk. If you were to buy just one individually, it'd be about $165 for a bin. But because we do buy them in bulk, that drops down to $60 a bin.
And how many bins you currently have out as of today?
So as of right now, we've got 65.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you comfortable with your projections going forward? I think you were projecting maybe 325 bins out at this point in your business plan.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate situation there. We actually had our first month just completely did not work out. We weren't able to get out and do advertising or flyers or anything, so that's kind of the setback there. But, I mean, we are growing pretty rapid. We've only had these bins since July 1st, so for month 3 to already have 65 out, I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
I don't know that I read anywhere in your business plan, but have you considered a new service around recycling, something that is not readily accessible at the curb today?
Yeah, we are actually trying to get recycling going. We're in the works of designing some new bins that are a different color, and then I've been working with Sunflower Diversified to kind of figure out how that would work out logistically. So that is the plan.
You said 65 bins currently?
That is correct.
Is that, but you're growing, because I'm pretty sure that's a decrease from the business plan we ran. I think you were at 120 in the business plan?
Yes, so with the business plan, that was when I was working with my advisor. She had said to go with the projections of what I had believed it would be.
Okay.
And so that was kind of a little bit of a...
So what are your new projections? Because in the business plan, you had mentioned 200 new bins every 4 months.
Right, and so that would be for purchasing new bins was the plan there. And so actually new projections, I've been too busy to actually make them.
Okay.
I don't have new projections. Just growing every day.
Any potential for any kind of small commercial service at all?
Honestly, I'm just trying to be the best at the residential. I have no plans to serve commercially.
So I would argue that one of the hardest things to do in business is to win and maintain a new client relationship no matter what you're doing. And so even if you have the best idea, it's not always quickly adopted. And sometimes your capital runs out before you achieve your desired revenue run rate. So you stated that you wanted to buy a piece of equipment and increase your efficiency for cleaning, but have you ever thought about using the money from this as an incentive for client acquisition fees? Say, for example, hey, Mike Johnson's Trash, you get 12 months for free, join the program, something like that to get more attraction, acquire new clients, etc.
Yeah, so that's actually exactly how I started. I was giving away 3 months free, and the loyalty thing overpowered that altogether.
Okay.
The only objection was loyalty. So, yeah.
Talking about equipment, the rig that you're looking to purchase for the cleaning, is that for the deep clean, or is that what's cleaning it every single time you're picking it up?
That's for the deep clean. So
Okay.
every time we pick it up, we just use it's a deodorizer and sanitizer and a spray, and then we just kind of go around and spray the entire inside.
Okay.
And so that rig is for full deep cleaning on the insides.
Do you have any potential for, I'm just looking at, some people may not like a bright yellow bin next to their house.
Right.
Any potential browns or greens or something more pleasing to the eye, I guess? I get the idea, it's great advertisement for you, but some people may not want that yellow thing next to their house.
Yeah, so that was a huge debate before I actually ordered them. And I've actually had only positive responses to the yellow. It also acts as a proof of concept because after we clean them, it's pretty obvious to see whether or not it got clean. So,
Good point, yeah.
yeah, I think it works pretty good.
That was the question I was keying up for you.
Okay, I stole your question then. Sorry about that.
The only thing I was, I didn't see any kind of monthly cash flow forecast in your business plan. I think that's like super critical. A lot of people make, annual projections about what it's going to be, and then they might actually come true. But the problem is the first 2, 3, 4 months, the burn's usually significantly more than what you'd expect, and the revenue is usually significantly less than you expect. And so I don't know how this works out exactly, but it's just a tip, I guess.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, just for general numbers, revenue per pickup is $8. It's $8.04, and it costs us about $4 per pickup. So we've got, right now, it's sitting at, I think, 46% profit margins. And so we had to get to, I think it was 45 bins to break even. And so everything after the 45 bins, we're actually making profit.
That's good.
And you are once a week service, right?
So we do biweekly, weekly, or twice weekly.
How many staff do you have currently?
For the trash pickup, none. It is just me.
Okay.
And there you go for the cash flow forecast, because at some point it's got to be you plus somebody else.
Exactly,
And so
yep.
those things do sneak up on you. So yeah.
Yeah.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What a creative solution to a not so glamorous problem. If Bin Wranglers has impressed you, you can scan the QR code here, or you can cast your vote by scanning the QR code in your flyer. You can also vote online at
Hi, I'm Allie Cartwright with Freakin' Delicious Cheesecake Company. We offer a wide variety of different flavors of cheesecake and different cheesecake. Hi, I'm Allie Cartwright with Freakin' Delicious Cheesecake Company. We offer a wide variety of different flavors of cheesecake and different cheesecake-related treats. We should win the Ignite competition because Freakin' Delicious Cheesecake is growing so much, and we are here to help put this community on the map. Do we have the slideshows? Can I have the slides? Is it? Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, so Freakin' Delicious Cheesecake Company was actually started completely on accident. I never meant to start a cheesecake business. Oh, and my husband is going to go ahead and hand out cheesecake to you guys. I'm sorry. That is the pumpkin cream. This is the deluxe turtle. And then this is the brownie sundae. It's just 3 of my specialty cheesecakes. And hopefully plenty of you got a free cheesecake treat in the lobby. I had some little samples for you guys. That was my classic vanilla. So, like I was saying, I never meant to start a cheesecake business. What happened was in April of 22, my dog needed emergency surgery, and we were really broke. So I went on Facebook and posted a cheesecake fundraiser, asked people if they would buy cheesecake in exchange for helping with his surgery, and it went insane. People bought tons of cheesecake from me, shared it with their friends, their family, their coworkers. Those people went crazy, started contacting me to buy cheesecake, paid for his surgery really quick, and thought, hey, maybe I could do like weekend pop-ups out of my house once a month or something for some extra income. That's when I find out it's illegal to sell cheesecake out of your house. So I was like, okay, nope, that's not gonna happen. It's not illegal to fundraise, just saying. So I thought that was it, but people wouldn't leave me alone. I was getting messages from complete strangers every single day. I mean that literally every single day for months. After about a month of that, I finally was like, okay, I gotta find a kitchen. So I started looking around a bunch of different places, exploring different things, and I eventually made an agreement with Chris McCord at the Historic Wolf Hotel to rent use of his commercial kitchen, and opened officially in February of 23. Now, I thought I'd be going in, making a couple cheesecakes a week maybe, no big deal, no stress. It was never part-time. It went crazy right away. No marketing, nothing, just people were dying for cheesecake in this area. So things were really, really good. And by the end of the year, I couldn't believe the amount of sales I had done. So the next year, I went ahead and did a 3-way expansion. I got an SUV, and I got a concession trailer. That allowed me to start doing delivery, wholesale, and of course, concession trailer is kind of a mobile storefront because I don't have a physical storefront at this point. Now, that went really, really, really well. By the end of 24, I had come very close to doubling the sales I did the previous year. And then in January of this year, I started really focusing on the pop-ups with the trailer before I was just doing events. And that has been insanely successful. By the end of June, so midway point of this year, I already passed my sales for last year. I could have done a lot more than that if I didn't have massive space issues. I have almost no storage at all at the hotel. So we'll get to that more in a minute. But right now, what I'm currently offering is you can go on my website, you can order whole cheesecakes, cheesecake stuffed cookies, lots of flavors, different sizes. On my concession trailer, you can expect to find all sorts of treats like jumbo slices, frozen cheesecake on a stick, cheesecake bites, cheesecake stuffed cookies, cheesecake parfaits, featured flavor orange, and samplers. And for wholesale, I do prepackaged frozen treats, like you can go to Ellenwood Packing Plant and get a frozen 9-inch cheesecake if you need one last minute. I'm also working on getting my packaging ready for being able to do single-serve frozen cheesecake on a stick and cheesecake stuffed cookies for wholesale retail as well, single-serve. Then I I also do pre-sliced cheesecakes for restaurants, of course. You can go to the page here in town and get my cheesecake for dessert. And I've also been working on getting my ducks in a row to be able to offer shelf-stable topping. My caramel, which is in that turtle, is really popular. So if I can do shelf-stable toppings, then that also gives me wholesale opportunities that don't need refrigeration, freezer space. Opens up a whole big market, especially here in town. Now, that brings me to why the Ignite competition. Like I said, I could have done way more sales this year if I wasn't fighting space. I have almost no storage space at all. So I am leaving a ton of money on the table. With bringing my concession trailer out to the different neighboring communities, I have had so many stores, restaurants, chains wanting to carry my product, and I can't fill those, and I don't have time to deliver them, let alone make everything. I don't have the space for it. I just can't do it. And I hate leaving money on the table. That's really frustrating. So I've been looking for a new location where I have all the space I need. I thought I had found a building that was in the business plan you guys would have looked at. I'm kind of leaning away from that one now. It was just looking like a little bit too much money for renovation. But I'm still looking at a lot of different options. The money for Ignite would, ideally, if I buy a building, at least half of that would go to down payment, the rest towards equipment. If I end up finding a space to lease, then, deposits, again, equipment. I need to get my own kitchen equipment because I currently use the Wolf Hotels. I mean, I have some of my own stuff, but, So that is where the money would go. And that brings me to the most important part is, why should Ignite invest in Freaking Delicious Cheesecake Company? And we are so excited for everything we can bring to this community. I tell people all the time that one of my favorite things about owning a small business is how much it has allowed me to participate in community fundraising. I might not have $300 in my pocket to throw at an organization, but I can make them a show-stopping cheesecake that earns $300 in an auction. And, that feels really good. I love that so very much. So I want to keep being able to do that in bigger and better ways. I also really want to be very employee-focused. I've been working very hard on making sure that once I can hire a full-time person, that I am going to be paying them a living wage so that they can have this be their career and they can feel good about working really hard for a company that works really hard for them. I want to eventually have full benefits for all of my full-time employees. I just want it to be a premier place for the community to get jobs. And, I've got really, really big plans with that, too. Right now, I'm looking at getting a storefront with ample space to be able to expand wholesale and everything. But I don't want to stop there. I have amazing brand recognition. People look at my logo, and it just sticks with them. They look at my name, and it sticks with them, especially since it is freaking delicious. So I really, I see myself eventually having, a manufacturing facility on the edge of town, a full production warehouse, and I think a lot about all of the things that would go into that, making sure I still have my quality and everything. Of course, that's down the line. I'm not doing that yet, but those wheels are always turning. And then, of course, creating a destination. The more we grow this brand, the more people are going to want to come and see where the cheesecakes are made. They're going to want to come to Great Bend and experience it, and I'm so beyond excited about that idea. I love how much joy my product brings to people, and I just look forward to keeping growing that and expanding that throughout central Kansas, throughout all of Kansas, and eventually throughout the whole country. So, in conclusion, I really think you guys should invest in Freaking Delicious Cheesecake Company because we are a really, really sure bet. I have so much demand that I can't fulfill. And it just keeps growing all the time. So I am very, very excited for the future. No matter what happens, Freaking Delicious Cheesecake is going to keep growing and putting Great Bend on the map. So thank you very much.
Well, great job. And I know you've been doing this for a couple of years, but I've never had your cheesecake, surprisingly, and I'm a cheesecake guy. I'm not a pumpkin guy, but this pumpkin cheesecake is fabulous. So,
Oh, thank you.
it is
Oh, it's
fabulous.
actually freaking
Freaking
delicious.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I meant to say, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So-
Mike's,
Go,
sorry.
go ahead, you go.
It's like golf. We got to keep the same rotation going.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
you want to ask
So,
first?
number one, I've heard of bootlegging alcohol, but I've never heard of bootlegging cheesecake. So, I'm glad you're able to survive that. I love the concept. Business plan's really good. Your success has been, it's short-lived. You still got a lot of great things ahead of you, so it's a good track record. But your net profit margins are very small.
That was with buying that building.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
was.
like servicing debt or something.
It'd be a lot better without that heavy of a purchase. Basically, right now my profit margins are around 66%, and
It's gross profit.
yes.
Yep. Okay.
And that's just taking into account like all of my current expenses. And I don't have any employees right now or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But once I am able to expand and fill more with really, really conservative estimates that I've put forward, I'm seeing my profit margins being around 70%.
Your gross profit, right? But then because your business plan, you were talking about you had that, plus you also had a net profit. Though your net profit was only 3%. So where do you see that going?
Yeah, and like I said, that'd be a lot higher without all that building cost there.
But you're gonna need a building, right? You're gonna need that extra space. You're gonna need part of you're doing this as an individual. You're probably buying, quantities of retail quantity. You need more industrial-sized equipment to get the efficiency gains. So you're either leasing a bigger building or you're buying equipment on a building that you lease if you don't buy a bigger building. So it's still gonna hit your P&L.
Yeah, the building I was looking at had a lot of expenses attached to it.
Your
So
reasoning-
I think I can find a much better fit.
Your reasoning behind the building, is it for the storage, is it for the expansion, or is it for the storefront? Like the
Both.
main reasoning?
Mostly for storage. I do want to have a storefront in Great Bend because, I'm over in Ellenwood currently, and most of my business is from Great Bend. And so having that storefront walk-in potential would be really, really great for me. But my main thing that is just leaving very clear-cut money on the table right now is all that wholesale.
So have you looked into commercial kitchens, where you would lease not only the equipment, but also the storage capabilities? Is that the next step?
I've been looking at like any options I can find, leasing, buying. There's not a lot of open commercial kitchens in Great Bend right now. So I keep watching for things to open up or, what comes up, and I'm just waiting for the right fit to slide in.
I love the product. I think you've got some real challenges ahead of you on the financial side. Especially if you start going wholesale, your margins are going to shrink when you go wholesale even more. They're not going to
Well,
expand.
I've got those margins in there too. So like my lowest margin is 60, and that's on the wholesale classic vanilla.
When you, how much of an expense is it going to be when you increase to go to shelf stable? Are those products significantly more money?
No, the thing with that is just basically initial investment. I have to get the pressure canning equipment. I have to actually take a college certification course to be able to offer those. I have to get testing done with K-State. So it's mostly initial cost up front. After I'm all set up, it's really not that bad.
Is this your full-time job now?
Yes.
Is this you're 100% dedicated to this?
100%.
I noticed in the business plan you had mentioned that there wasn't any other cheesecake specialty bakery in a 90-mile radius. I'm in Hayes, which is definitely within that radius. There is a bakery in Hayes that
Really?
focuses solely on cheesecake. It's called Ann Bakery.
I've never heard of it.
She sells out every weekend at the downtown Hayes Market. She has a line. Oh, they're cutting me off. She has a line around the block for cheesecake every Saturday morning.
That's awesome. I
So
haven't
I
heard of
see
her.
the demand for it, and
Yeah.
this is freaking delicious. Does that change your business plan at all, knowing that there's competition that close?
Honestly, the demand in this area is so high, I don't really think that competition is a thing. I think there's room for everybody and we can build each other up.
Okay, great. Well, I'll put you in connection with her.
Please do.
She has the same energy. I think you guys would hit it off.
You know, so this is a really good business idea. It seems like there's low barrier to entry other than the fact that you need to know how to make a freaky delicious cheesecake, which is not low, it's high barrier. But all kidding aside, have you thought about the concept of being a franchisor and taking this idea to other small communities outside of your market area and then
That's not something I have looked into at this point, but that's an interesting idea. That would definitely be something to research.
How many different SKUs or products do you have available?
Oh my gosh, I'm not even sure, because I have probably somewhere in the range of 50 different flavors of cheesecake, probably, and then I've got the cheesecake cookies in 2 different flavors and 2 different sizes. So yeah, a lot.
Would it benefit you at all to maybe reduce that number down just to like your top 20 or whatever?
Well, what I've done is I have a featured flavor menu every month, and so the majority of these specialty flavors are a little more expensive full time, and they're only available in the 9-inch all the time. But then when they are featured during a month, then they're available in the 4-inch and the minis as well, and they're just a little bit less expensive in the 9-inch. It's like a $5 discount. And so that really helps with making it so I'm not making 50 million different types of batter all the time. And it also gives a great sense of FOMO. People don't want to miss out on the special flavors for the month.
I mean, have you tested any barriers to your pricing? I mean, if you've got such a high demand, you can't meet it, and you've got competition that's at least 60 miles away, you know, you only had $500 in your budget for advertising. I mean, with a little bit of a juice online, digital marketing, some just basic X's and O's, on a price increase, you could probably improve your margins.
What is your marketing plan? I know you've got several listed in the business plan, but get a little bit more specific with that, because I, 60 miles away, had not heard of you before I got your business plan. You've got someone else here who hasn't had your cheesecake before. Had you heard of them before the business plan?
I've heard of them, I just haven't had one
Haven't
yet.
had it. So tell us how you're getting the word out. I love the donations to charity and getting the word out that way, but what else are you doing to get the name out?
I honestly have not had to do a lot. One of the things that has been really, really wonderful for me is the mobile advertising of my concession trailer. It has brought my brand recognition way, way up. I get people contacting me from all over the place wanting me to bring the trailer out, wanting me to provide wholesale for them, just because they heard about my trailer coming to such and such town and whatnot. So it hasn't been a huge focus just because, like, I've got so many pending customers that I just haven't felt like that was a huge priority at the moment. Susan Panka and I talked a lot about it, and she said that I should at least have a little bit in there for some online advertising, Facebook, that sort of thing.
Would have loved to see pictures of the trailer in your presentation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying. I'm going to go find you on Facebook.
What currently, are you offering any kind of delivery service? Or?
Yes, I do delivery. It's a maximum of 30 miles, and I charge $1 per mile, which is calculated on Google Maps one way.
It may be in here, I didn't see it, but your price structure, what is your price structure?
So for my 9-inch cheesecakes, the classic vanilla is $45, and then with topping that goes up to $50. Then my featured flavors are $55, and then the ones that are not featured are $60.
Yeah, I just would challenge you to really think about your pricing. Even that comment right there, you know, the government rate right now is be at 72 cents. So you're missing like 50 cents almost by charging $1, 1 mile, full turn. So, but it's common, I think, with business owners, getting started. You feel like you have to, be so low on your price. But there's a great value there, and that's shown by the customer base is growing that you can't even meet their demands. So, be proud of what you have. I mean, and they'll pay for it.
Good job. Thank you.
Great
Thank
job.
you.
There it is. Fell a little bit. That presentation has my mouth watering, as I'm sure it does yours. If freaking delicious cheesecake is your favorite, cast your People's Choice vote now by scanning the QR code or the QR code on your screen or the Slido.com. Next up, that brings family fun downtown, Great Bend, Cass Eldridge with Great Bend Play Place.
Hi, I'm Cass, and I'm with the Great Bend Play Place. The Great Bend Play Place is a large indoor play structure suited for all ages. I think you should pick the Great Bend Play Place because it's a place where community will meet joy.
Hello, everyone. My name's Cassandra, and I'm here to tell you about the Great Bend Play Place. I'd like to start off by thanking all of you guys for being here tonight, and thank you to all of our generous sponsors who really helped make this night happen. Oops. My husband's supposed to be here tonight. He's not here, but this is us. We are proud parents of 3 beautiful children who are truly our inspiration for this project. We're both experienced local business owners, and I really do truly believe that those 2 things alone give us the skill and knowledge and heart that we need to make Great Bend Play Place thrive. Ignite your play. So this is an example of our large indoor play structure. We'll have slides and ball pits and climbing structures for all of the kids to be able to climb and explore and really connect their minds and bodies while they're having so much fun together. So this is the focal point of the entire space. And if we win, we would be able to ignite everyone's play with this large structure. What else will you find at the Great Bend Play Place? We'll have an arcade. The arcade will be located in the teen zone, so the teens will have something fun to do. They don't have to worry about their little brother or sister running around, playing with them. They can just go and have fun with their friends. We'll also have party rooms. Although we do have party options here in Great Bend, I think it's going to be so great to give our families another option to gather and make memories, and especially at a place so fun. With the party rooms, we will offer party room packages where we can do a la carte options. Do you want a balloon arch? Do you want us to decorate for you? Do you want to bring your own party supplies in? No matter what it is, we'll make it happen for you. So this is an example of a balloon arch that I've actually made, and I'll be able to provide that for you guys if you guys want to see something fun in your party room. While our party rooms are not being utilized, we will offer art and STEM classes. sidebar, we are really passionate about the youth in our community, and we see that there is a lack of things for our kids to go out and do, for our teens to go out, get out of the rooms, get off of their phones. So we're really passionate about creating a space that gets everyone out of the house and excites them and helps them move their bodies again. What else can you find at the Great Bend Play Place? Well, there will be a toddler safe zone, and that's going to be specifically targeted for our 0 to 4-year-old age. With the toddler safe zone, we'll have tot time mornings. Our tot time mornings will, of course, be specifically for our tots, so they don't have to worry about the bigger kids running around, and maybe they can explore on the larger indoor play structures with mom, dad, guardian. Something I'm really excited about is we are going to have a personal mascot, and the most fun part about that is there will be a poll where the community can vote for who they want to see when they come to the Great Bend Play Place. With that, whenever you do book a party, and let's say you're going to have a Moana party, and you want Moana to come to the party, we'll make it happen for you with our character costumes. I'm so excited about that because we really don't get to see that very often in our community, and our community is not too small to have something so big. Something else, which we were really inspired by our local brewery to do this, but we would like to host local food trucks. Give them an opportunity to come and sell their flavors and give our community another opportunity to enjoy their food as well. We're going to have a concession stand, a small concession stand with snack and drink station. And with the drink station, we'll have a refillable water station. So you'll be able to bring your own water bottles in and stay hydrated while you play. So this is our floor plan. It's not exact, but this is what our idea is. So over here, as you can see, this is where our large indoor play structure would be. And our tot spot would be here by the seating area. Between the tot spot and our large indoor play structure is where you'll find the imaginary play. So our imaginary play is going to be modeled off of our local businesses. So kids can go and explore and have fun exploring the businesses that they see their parents go to every day. And we'll give the businesses an opportunity to see if they want to be in our play place. On the first floor, we'll also have 2 party rooms, and that's where the concessions will be located. And as you can see, we will have it pretty localized where you're going to be able to see every structure from where you're seated. I think it's really important for parents to be able to sit back, relax, let their kids play. They can come check on their parents. Their parents won't necessarily have to go check on them. You know, they'll be able to see from every angle. Our second floor is where you'll find the teen zone. I am so excited for this. I feel like we really don't have anything for our teens to do here. So in our teen zone, that's where you're going to find the arcade, of course. We're also going to have a video game station where they can go. We'll have 3 TVs set up with video games, and they'll be able to sit there and enjoy and play games with their friends if they want. Sorry about that. And the teen zone will also have the party room. This is open here because it'll be an open layout. So this will just be the only build on the second floor. Marketing. Who will reach and how we'll reach them? Of course, we're going to reach out to our local families. Schools, daycares, social media is a big one nowadays. So we are going to hit it hard with social media and also partnering with local hotels, daycares, and educators, and especially our local sports teams. We are so busy in the summertime doing sports. Everybody's coming to town for these tournaments, you know, letting them know, hey, we got a great place in town for you guys to come hang out for your downtime and enjoy the Great Bend Play Place. Also, local support, really working with joining the chamber and the Convention and Visitors Bureau and utilizing our local Eagle Radio. Our 3-year income summary, as you can see here, we have year 1, 2, and 3 with a consistent flow. Our gross margin is a stable 96% with a net income of, for year 1 is 62, year 2 75, and year 3 87, and that is $12,000 to $13,000 increase with a revenue growth of 7 to 8% yearly. Our long-term vision, is more than this, but this creating a space for families to gather for years and years to come, make memories. You know, when my kid was 3, we had our party here, and now he's 8, and he wants to have his party here again. You know, we've had so much fun watching our kids grow and enjoy your space. So we keep coming back for more, you know, and also having a space that will put more families into our community. How many people are going to see that we have something so great to offer that they want to move here? They want to work here. They know that it's family oriented and they'll have something to do with their kids. They don't have to move to a bigger city. They can come right here to our beautiful, wonderful community. With that, our community impact. Great Bend Play Place will create 6 to 14 jobs, and what a fun job, right? Keep our dollars local, attract more visitors to Great Bend, and help boost other businesses. People are going to come and play, but maybe they'll want to go and have lunch or dinner or go shopping downtown and really truly enjoy everything that we have to offer here in our town. It also, of course, supports healthy, active kids. You know, moving your body and getting kids up and moving and connecting their mind with their body helps with speech. You know, I didn't know that until a couple years ago when my son was struggling, but knowing that this is something that could help kids that are struggling advance and get better with that, you know? Okay. Not that far yet, guys. With that being said, let's take some stress away from families together. Let's build a space where families can gather, children can play, and community can grow. A safe and monitored space, something unique and special for Great Bend's economy. Great Bend needs Great Bend Play Place, and we're excited to bring it to our community. Let's build joy together.
Well, I love the concept. I mean, I
Thank you.
understand the need for businesses like this that may entice younger families to move to Great Bend or families to move back to Great Bend, so I understand that concept. Have you, your estimations on some of your expenses, have you guys gone out and really looked at equipment pricing, that kind of along those lines?
Yes, we're actually working with a US-based builder, and he's actually going to put something in Salina, so he's steering us away from the things that they're doing. But yes, we've got prices for our large indoor play structure, which is around $50,000, and our toddler zone, which would be around $30,000, and then our imaginary play, each one you build is about $2,500. But that's going to be something that will allow an opportunity for our local businesses to maybe donate or build that within our business.
And it's probably going to be your new building, you may have to actually build because you're going to have to
Yes.
have a dedicated space, certain size.
Yes, so we have looked at local buildings already. We have looked at everything possible. So we have come to the conclusion that we are going to have to build, and we've been in contact with a few people about land in the area. So, and it's going to be in town. You know, initially we were hoping to have something that was within the highways. You know, that way kids, if they were riding their bikes to the play place, they wouldn't have to cross any major highways. But it's looking like we're going to have to kind of cross that barrier a little bit to make it happen.
Those land costs are built into your budget?
Yes, they are. Yes.
Cassandra, wow, your passion for Great Bend is it's amazing. So thank you for that.
you.
And you know, at the end of the day, the chicken or the egg for any of these communities like ours is, if you have the workers, keep the families here, the businesses will come. If you don't, you know, so it is really important. That being said, you know, I'm sort of in a similar situation on an effort I did about 10 years ago. We could talk offline. But you know, your first year total revenue of $380,000, that's like $32,000 a month. That's about $7,300 a week. I mean, those are really big numbers.
Yes.
Do you have any sort of market data that supports the head count, the traffic count coming through that in a in a market like ours?
Thankfully, we had a wonderful woman named Susan from Hayes who helped us through those numbers and helped us figure that out. My husband is a numbers guy, so I'm going to do my best at figuring this out. I know that those numbers are so big because all of our costs initially is in the build. It's all initial costs in the build, buying the play structures. So being able to, we're not going to have to rebuy those, for another 10, 15 years. So that's why our numbers look like that. But we project it to be a very popular place, and my husband and I, we are very involved with the community. We're passionate about the children, the youth of our community, and really just trying to build something more, and sorry, that's it.
I'll piggyback a little bit off of that. I have 3 kids.
Yes.
This is going to be wonderful.
Yes.
It's not something I'm going to do more than once a month, once
Right.
every couple of months, just because of time, because of expense. So again, looking at those numbers, how often are you anticipating families using this service, using this play place?
Well, we know that we're going to be busier on the weekends and with our affordable prices, so we will have an entry fee of $15 on the weekend, and that's per kid, but with each kid comes 2 adults for free.
Okay.
So the adults won't have to pay to go in there and enjoy their coffee and relax. They'll just have to pay for their children.
And their coffee. They're going to pay for their coffee.
And their coffee. The coffee's going to bring you in probably,
And cheesecake. We have a great partner for you.
Well, you said that, and I've actually talked to Allie because we plan on selling her cheesecake at the play place.
Goes great with coffee.
Yes. I'm sorry, what was your question, the rest of your question? Oh, yeah.
How often do you anticipate families coming in?
Well, we know that our weekends are going to be busy, and we're going to be open Thursday through Monday. So we'll have the Tuesday and Wednesday to offer those STEM classes, those art classes. So our numbers aren't just solely projected on the visitors for the weekend or for the day. It's what we're doing on our off days or our before hours. Like our talk time mornings are going to be before we even open. So the parents and the kids don't have to worry about, the bigger kids being around. But we have other revenues that we're going to look forward to bringing in and helping continue make more money for the space.
Talk to that a little bit too, though. You have a lot of options. I mean, you're talking balloon arches and classes.
Yes.
And that's exhausting. Everything that you're saying is
Yes.
very stressful to me.
Hey, but you could come to me and I can take the stress away.
It's true.
I
but
love it.
How are you pricing all of that? Because I imagine having a birthday party is one thing, but then having a character is another thing. Having a balloon arch is another thing. Are you looking at all of that?
Yes, so those are going to be the a la carte options, So people are going to be able to build their own packages and create their own parties. If they don't want that, that's fine. But I know a lot of people who are passionate about making even if it's their first, second, third, whatever birthday it is, people love birthdays and they want to make it big and they want to make it special. They want to take the pictures. So I have no doubt that they are going to want to utilize those special services.
I have more questions, but do you have questions? Talk a little bit more about the arcade. You're gearing it towards teenagers.
Yes.
They already have an arcade in their hands.
Yes.
So talk to how that's going to be different than coming in with a cell phone and just using your free Wi-Fi.
And they might. We're going to have chairs up there, and there's going to be some that are just sitting around and they're watching their friends run around. But there's not going to be any younger children up there. That's going to be specifically targeted for teens, so they'll have their own space. And I really think that's going to be a big one. I feel like whenever we go to other arcades, we're like, oh, we can't play that one because we got to let the little ones go, which is great. Eventually, we're going to have smaller arcades for little ones. I think having their own party room, having their own space, which all teenagers want their own space, and we're going to provide that for them, and they're playing video games with their friends at home in separate, in their own homes in separate rooms, but having that option for them to even be sitting by each other and their friends standing around them, cheering them on, I think it's going to be a really fun experience for the teens.
Are you targeting the adults at all, the ones that grew up with those arcade games?
Listen, we will also be offering after hours. Okay. After hours where the adults could come in, rent the whole place, and have lots of fun. I didn't include that in there, but that is definitely something that we're going to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Competition. What's the closest town that has something similar?
Well, before we learned that Salina is getting one, it was Wichita. Wichita was the closest. And having 3 kids, they're 3, 4, and 6. So when we went on vacations, those are the type of places we targeted, and we would go to Wichita to enjoy those spaces as well, but now we don't have to drive far to enjoy a fun space with our children. And this is going to happen. Like, we love Great Bend so much. My husband and I, we wanted to grow. We're lifers, and we know that, and we love that so much, and we want to create a space where our children can be proud of and hopefully create something with it themselves one day.
Go ahead.
I don't have any.
I've asked a lot. You go ahead.
I actually don't have a question.
You mentioned a background in business, both you and your husband. Are you currently both working other full-time jobs? Will you transition into this full-time? How will that work?
Well, I'm part-time. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 7 years, so I had a lot of time to brew this up in here. But my husband does work full-time. He's really the financial, the money, like, yes, honey, we can do that, or we're going to have to wait So he's the foundation of this business. I'm the ideas. I'm going to be the one to run it, and he's going to be the one to make sure that we're on track every month. And I have all the time in the world. Right now, I'm a part-time associate at the Buckle here in Great Bend, but besides that, I spend a lot of time with my children, and I love that. But I'm excited to show them what mommy can do too. They're out there somewhere.
Back on the expense side, liability insurance, I'm sure, is a big chunk of
Yes.
what this plan would be. Can you go through that a little bit?
Whew. I got my handy-dandy cheat sheet here.
In 30 seconds.
Oh, my goodness. No, I know that is a large expense. And really, that's like the only thing that we have to worry about to cover, because we're not going to have like a full-scale kitchen or anything like that. But I'm so sorry my husband's not here to give you more answers on that. But yes, liability insurance is the biggest thing that we'll have.
'Cause I can
And
guarantee
sprinkler
you,
systems.
you're going to have people that are going to dream up all kind of accidents that happen when they didn't really happen. So,
My husband is a very smart, dedicated man. I'm sure that we work closely with the Barons brothers, so they're not going to let us, make any mistakes. Hopefully, so.
Your security cameras everywhere.
Everywhere, security cameras. I said the sprinkler systems already, but that is a large part of our budget. So.
Very good. Great job.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so
Yeah,
much.
great job.
I hope you guys enjoy your Great Bend Play Place merch and candy bars. Have a good one. Thank you.
What an exciting concept for families in our community. Vote for Great Bend Play Place by scanning the QR code or visiting slido.com. Keep those votes coming in. Everyone makes a big difference. Now we have one finalist left before the judges get to deliberate and choose our winners. But first, a word from our event coordinator and creator, Great Bend Economic Development.
I'm Brad Fancher, and I'm here to talk to you about Hi, I'm Brad Fancher, and I'm here to talk to you about Tanquility Aquariums, a new retail aquarium store that I plan to bring to downtown Great Bend, Kansas. At Tanquility, we plan to offer the largest selection of tropical fish between Kansas City and Denver. I hope that you'll support me in the Ignite competition, because I'm bringing something to Great Bend that we haven't had for a long time, and I believe that will be really enjoyed by the people of the community. I'll wait. I've got all night, right? All right. Well, good evening. My name is Brad Fancher, and I am here tonight to tell you about Tanquility Aquariums, a new retail aquarium store and tank maintenance service that I plan to bring to Great Bend, Kansas. So first, a little bit about me. I'm a Great Bend native. I was born and raised on a farm south of town. Went to Great Bend High School, graduated in 1983. As you can see here, I guess I've always been a little bit of an entrepreneur. This is me in about, probably 1973 or 74 in Brad's Pipe Shop, if you can read the little sign down there below me. So, I don't know that Brad's Pipe Shop was ever a very profitable venture, but I think that this next venture will go better, the aquarium store. And what is it that makes me think that? What is it that makes me think that I can start up and run a successful aquarium store in Great Bend, Kansas? Well, first of all, I've got more than 50 years in the aquarium hobby. I've been keeping tanks pretty much nonstop that entire span. I've had anywhere from just a single tank in either my home or my office to, I think, as many as 54 tanks up and running in my home at one time. So I've kept more fish than I can keep track of. The good thing about that, though, is even though I've kept a lot of fish, there's still a lot of fish that I haven't kept, and I've never lost my enthusiasm and my fascination for the hobby. Over the years, I've also bred and sold thousands of freshwater angelfish to stores across the state of Kansas. And this picture here on the screen is a pair of angelfish that I've got now in my hatchery, so I continue to do that to this day. And then back after college in the late 80s, I helped manage a pet store in Manhattan, Kansas for a few years, and even got offered the opportunity to buy into that store. Unfortunately, that offer came just a few days after I accepted a new job in Wichita, so the timing just wasn't right on that deal. So what are my goals for Tanquility? Well, first of all, I want to bring aquariums and fish back to central Kansas. When I moved back to Great Bend in 2021, I guess the word that you might use was disappointed to find that there was no place to buy fish and fish supplies in Great Bend. Not only was there not a place in Great Bend, there was nothing nearby. We're talking Hoisington, nothing. Larned, St. John, Pratt, Dodge City, Hayes. To the best of my knowledge, none of those places have any sort of aquarium store, or at least none with any kind of extensive selection. Now, Salina has a couple of shops. Hutchinson has a Petco, but really you've got to go to Wichita or Kansas City to find any sort of selection of fish and fish accessories. Of course, there's always the option of mail order, which is okay for supplies, but shipping live fish, it's doable, but it's expensive and it's very stressful to the fish. So I want a store back in Great Bend. I also want to provide expert advice to anyone interested in keeping fish. At Tanquility, we're going to lead with an education-first approach to our customers. Now, in the past, I think I've probably been guilty of saying, fish keeping's easy. Anybody can keep fish, right? Well, the truth of the matter is I've probably killed more than my fair share of fish. So, either just through inexperience or through my own stupidity. So I really want to help my customers maybe avoid some of the mistakes that I've made along the way. Also, I want to allow local businesses to have the opportunity to have an aquarium in their lobby or their waiting room. Probably over time, we've all gone to a business where there's a big fish tank, and we thought, boy, how cool is that? Well, they're not only cool. A lot of studies have been done that show that aquariums can help reduce stress. Some studies even indicate that they can lower blood pressure. So that's a good thing to have in an office or a waiting room. Think about the little kiddos that maybe they're going to the pediatrician or to the dentist, and they're nervous about, getting a shot or getting some dental work done. So having an aquarium in that waiting room is a great distraction, a great way to kind of help take their minds off of that procedure that maybe they're coming up with. And then last but not least, I really want to be part of what I see as a downtown revitalization going on in Great Bend. I've got a lot of fond memories of growing up and shopping in Great Bend with my family, from sidewalk sales in the summertime, stores staying open late on Thursday nights, going to eat at Ralph Wallace Buffet. A lot of great memories. And so I'm really excited to be kind of part of that downtown retail ecosystem. Can't wait to get my store open. So, as I was thinking about this presentation tonight, I kind of asked myself, why? Why do we need an aquarium store in Great Bend or in central Kansas? And I came up with these three words. So the first word I want to talk about, and I've got a couple little stories to tell you, is the word fascination. So this first story of fascination that I want to tell you is one I call Reagan's story. And that's because it came to me from Reagan Reif, who some of you probably know. Reagan teaches a class as an instructor at a class called Co-Starters. It's put on by Economic Development. And earlier this year, I took that Co-Starters class. So there we are, the first week of class, and we're talking about our business ideas to our classmates, and I'm telling them about my fish store idea. And during one of the breaks, Reagan says, "Brad, come here, there's something I want to show you." And she pulls out her phone and she shows me this picture. And she says, "Brad, this is my son who for his 7th birthday wanted nothing more than an aquarium and some fish to put in it. So here he is in the back seat of the car with his fish on his lap." Now, where are they coming from? They're coming back from Wichita, because that's where you have to go right now to get fish and aquariums. But here he is, and you can see how happy he is. And you can see the smile on his face, and you can see the joy in his eyes. And we're going to talk about joy a little bit more here in just a second. But when I look at this picture, I see something else. I see fascination. And I think that I see fascination because that's the same fascination that I felt when I was about that age and I got started in the aquarium hobby. Now, you know, the funny thing about fascination is we never know exactly where it's going to lead us. We can't look at that picture and say where this little boy will go, whether his fascination with fish and aquariums will take him to maybe a biology career or something like that. We just don't have enough information. But there is another story of a young boy that grew up in Great Bend, and we do know the outcome of that story. And the story goes something like this. So this young man's father owned a power company, ran a power company here in Great Bend, and one winter there was a particularly bad ice storm. Well, this young man's father used his ham radio to communicate with their electrical customers in western Kansas during the ice storm. And this fascinated this young man. And it fascinated him so much that it led him to a career in electronics, which eventually led him to the invention of the first integrated circuit, the microchips that we have in our devices and computers today. And it eventually led him to a Nobel Prize. And of course, that young man's name was Jack Kilby. And so now as we sit here tonight, just a few hundred yards from where we sit, there's a statue in our courthouse square dedicated to Mr. Kilby. Now, what does Jack Kilby have to do with aquarium stores and aquarium fish? Well, probably absolutely nothing. But what Mr. Kilby's story does teach us is that you can never, ever underestimate the power of fascination in a young man's life, a young person's life. Now, the second word on the list is joy. You know, there's a lot of stuff in the world today, from social media and the news, and a lot of things that kind of steal away our joy, detract from our joy. And joy is something that we all need. We all have to be able to find that somewhere. You know, people find it in a lot of different places. For me, obviously, I find it in aquariums and fish. Here's a video of one of my Papa angelfish swimming around with his baby, and I just find so much joy in that whole process and watching them. So, you know, wherever you find your joy, that's great. It's something we all need. I don't think there's enough of it, but I believe that the customers that come into my store and get into the aquarium hobby and are successful in the aquarium hobby are going to experience some of the same joy that I've found over the years. Went too far. Come on, clicker. So then the last word on my list is tranquility. And as you probably guessed by now, that word tranquility sort of formed the basis of the name of my store, Tanquility. You know, and as I was thinking about my store and what I wanted to call it and what I wanted to be and sort of what I wanted my store to embody, this idea of peacefulness, of calm, of enjoyment kept bubbling back to the top. And finally, you know, I realized the word tranquility, that's what I'm after. So, you know, as you look, this is supposed to be a video playing, but as you look at this video of these fish swimming around, and this came to me from a friend of mine and a local business owner here in town. This is his tank in his basement. It's really kind of hard to deny the tranquility that you get from watching a tank full of beautiful fish. Now, I've got one more quick story that I want to tell you about tranquility. There it goes. Thank you, whoever. So, a month or so ago, my wife and I had to go to Kansas City for a business trip, and we asked our daughter to come and house sit for us. So, you know, after a couple of days, I'd call and check on things, and we called her up and said, "How are things going at the house?" And she said, "Dad, I've got a big fish tank down in my basement full of African cichlids like this." And she said, "Dad, I go down at night to feed those fish, and I turn off all the lights except the fish tank light, and I feed those fish, and I sit down on the couch, and I wake up, and it's 3:30 in the morning." And I laughed, and she said, 2 days in a row, 2 nights in a row. There's no denying the tranquility. And my wife and I experience the same thing. We love to go down there at night and sit and watch that fish tank. So Tranquility. So in a nutshell, or maybe a snail shell, what is it that I'm trying to do? I'm trying to bring fish and aquariums back to central Kansas. I'm trying to help fish keepers be successful through advice and education. I'm trying to give business owners an opportunity to have an aquarium in their store or their office or their waiting room. And I'm trying to inspire fascination. And I'm trying to help people find joy. And I'm trying to provide tranquility. And that, my friends, is Tanquility. Thank you very much.
In looking through your information provided, you list $246 is for a 10-gallon setup, I call it basically.
Right.
And you listed the detail of everything in that.
Right.
Is everything on your list pretty much required, or is there?
You know, that example, that list I gave you there is a good setup. Now, you'll go to, a discount store, a department store, something like that, and you'll see setups, tank kits or tank setups for less than that, for maybe, $97, $120, whatever. And they don't include everything that you need. So it's not the Cadillac setup, but it's certainly it's not something you're going to be going back and going, well, I wish I had a better thermometer, I wish I had a better heater, something like that. I've had cheap heaters stick and cook an entire tank of fish. So that setup and all the setups that I used in my example are good quality, and again, kind of, good quality, but not top of the line necessarily, and certainly not junk.
Brett, I want to thank you for a very thorough presentation or business plan. It was probably the biggest one that we got, so great job. Clearly, your 50 years of knowledge and experience is tremendous, so it showed in all the documentation, so
thank you.
Great job.
There ought to be some benefits to getting older, right?
Right. So, you had 3 words, fascination, joy, and tranquility, and I'm going to add another one called success, which is why we're asking a couple questions,
Sure.
okay?
Absolutely.
So, I got to ask, you cited in your business plan how Walmart no longer carries live fish, and I was thinking in coming tonight about how 10 years ago in Great Bend, I'm pretty sure we had live fish because we bought some and failed. We didn't have any expertise, clearly. But Walmart is a pretty savvy retailer, right? And now they do sell live fish in bigger markets. They don't sell them here. So, I guess my question for you, if you agree that, they're pretty savvy and they make
Sure.
money on the right things.
Sure.
Why is your strategy going to prove them wrong about their desire to move away from live fish in Great Bend?
Well, first of all, and of course I don't have any insights into the back operations of Walmart, but from what I understand, they've completely gotten out of the live fish market. And I've heard, and I don't, again, have firsthand, I can't swear to this,
Yeah.
I've heard that they were looking at some real serious lawsuits from organizations like PETA because the poor quality of their fish. So they were being forced out of the market. Now, the economics of how well they were doing, and I also know that, Walmart does probably more than anybody. They know what every square inch of that store is worth, and they're going to look at it and analyze it. So if you've got however many square feet dedicated to live fish, it's just the math has just got to work out for them, and they sell a lot of stuff. So I don't know, again, but I completely understand and respect your question. It's a great question. We're going to do the same thing at our store on a much, much smaller scale, and not so much maybe with floor space, but with my time, since I'm a sole proprietor, how best to spend my time. Is it breeding fish? Is it going out and doing the tank maintenance, And so, great question, but I think that the answer to the Walmart question is, I really kind of think they were just forced out of it, and they probably, it's just not worth it.
Those fish were in quarantine a lot, if I remember correctly.
They were
It feels
sickly.
like you would go and all the tanks were off limits.
They were
Yeah.
kind of disgusting, to be
Yeah.
real honest. So.
Yeah. Brad, it was a great presentation.
Thank you.
I'll admit this isn't a business plan that excited me as much as some of the others did. It was a great business plan. I am a certified beta killer, so this isn't something that I would have a huge interest in. What did excite me is when you were talking about having tanks in businesses, because that is something that I remember very distinctly in my childhood, is going into doctor's offices and seeing those tanks, and you don't see that very often.
No, you don't.
I hope that that's a big part of your business plan. Talk me through how you're going to entice businesses to add these tanks, what the cost is going to be, what the upkeep's going to be. How involved are you going to be in making sure that these fish are maintained, or these tanks are maintained?
So, so the details of it haven't been really worked out. Kind of just a high-level overview. I'll work with the business owners and go into kind of decide the space they have and how big a tank they want, whether they want a freshwater tank, whether they want a saltwater tank, so on and so forth. But, then obviously we'll get the equipment that's needed, we'll get that set up, and then I anticipate going back once a week to do the maintenance. So, working out a schedule with them that works in their business model, so, before hours, after hours, whatever the case, and spending, probably 30 minutes or so per client location, cleaning filters, doing water changes, making sure the fish are healthy and stuff. I did talk to an aquarium store in Olathe here a while back, and they actually had 3 different crews that go out. So they've got a regular route, and I'm not sure if they go 5 or 6 days a week. But there's, Olathe, a lot bigger area, obviously, but, very successful for them. So they really encouraged me, this is something that you can do to help augment your business and generate extra income. So, and those numbers aren't, because they're not nailed down to the point where I'd like them to be, they weren't included in the financials that I sent you. So
I'm glad I didn't miss it, because I was struggling.
You did, and we kind of went back and forth, and I said, I see, because of the time demands that are going to be on me to get the retail store up and running, I don't see myself going out immediately and starting to try and push that service. I see that as 6-8 months down the road.
Okay.
So, and one other point I'd like to make to your initial statement. I didn't have time to get it in, but we talked about adding to the show in the presentation. This thing that I've heard so many times. I'd love to have an aquarium in my home, but, and how would you finish that sentence, right? But I kill the fish. But they're too hard to take care. Answer that question. Most of those things are just so far from the truth. And so I really look forward to people coming in the store and saying, kind of just what you said, I'm a betta killer, right? Let's change that. We can fix that. I can tell you what you need to know to fix that. So,
Okay.
Wholesale, is this a market you think you could develop maybe other stores in Garden City or wherever and potentially wholesale to those individuals?
yeah, I think there is. I've been asked a couple of times about maybe a second location or things like that. One of the things, and I'm trying to remember now, I just read it a few minutes ago, in my business plan, there are a lot of what I call basement breeders or hobby breeders of fish, kind of like myself. I was always referred to as what they call a hobby breeder. And so you got a particular type of fish that you like, and you get a few, and then you get a few more, and then they start having babies, and then suddenly you've got 1,000 of them, and what the heck do I do with all these fish, right? And that's kind of how I got started with the angelfish. I'd really like to establish a network of folks like that so that they would have a market for their fish, maybe at my store and maybe some of the other stores around the state. So, a kind of a wholesale arrangement. If they've got 1,000 baby African cichlids, I'll come and take them all from you, and then I'll set up the distribution for you. So, a lot of ideas like that. None of them are ready for prime time, but yeah.
Would that be regulated by the government as far as selling fish to wholesale or?
Probably. I mean, what's not regulated by it? But they're less concerned about things like fish than they are mammals and things like that. Obviously, dogs and cats kind of have the highest level of concern and regulation, and then you get down into the rodents and stuff. But yeah, I'm sure there are things that I'd have to do. I know that there are regulations regarding, if you want to start a minnow farm to sell minnows for bait, there's regulations that the state has and things like that.
You can bootleg betas,
There you
Mike.
go.
I mean, we got cheesecake.
You can bootleg cheesecake, you can bootleg fish.
So, Brad, there's so many businesses out there you can start, but a lot of it has to do about the population of a market, and then the trade area, and then how much population's in that. So you cited a study from the Florida Department of Agriculture that said 12% or 1 out of 8 U.S. homes has a fish, or something like that. But that's a broad.
It is
50 states. Anything that's more, defined for Midwest, smaller. 1,500 miles from the ocean, kind of statistics that might give you a better guidance for success in terms of population.
Just the only thing that not hard numbers, no website or research organization that I could point you to say, yeah, according to these folks, this is what that number would be for our geography or whatever. So all of my sense of that kind of comes from my experience in stores or selling fish to stores. I'll tell you right now that I know that in Barton and surrounding counties, it's nowhere near 1 in 8. Nowhere near. If it's 1 in 20, I'd be surprised. And that, kind of presents an interesting problem. Maybe it's a good problem. Maybe it's a bad problem. I'm not really sure. I'll find out here in a couple of months. But, we're not talking about a market that's fully developed. And on the good side, there's not a couple other stores out there that I'm competing against. So, the people that come into my store are probably going to come in because they've wanted an aquarium for a while, and it's just too much of a pain in the neck to go get one, right? So there's going to be a lot of, I think, tank setups, tank sales before we maybe kind of get over that crest, and now we're selling fish, and we're selling, food, and we're selling water conditioner and things like that. So, but how many? I don't know. I don't think that number, if you do the math, the total number of households in kind of the 5-county area, about 24,500 households. If you do that 12.5% or whatever the number is, the 1 in 8, that comes out to about 3,000, maybe 3,100 households in the area that you expect. And I don't think that number is really unrealistic at all.
When you talk to other stores in Olathe and Manhattan, are you asking them about their pull factor? Are you asking them where their customers are coming from?
Yes.
What are their answers?
I would love for you to answer that, but time is up.
Last
Sorry.
question.
Sorry. Answer it real quick.
Okay. Their customers come from all over. Obviously, if you're talking about a town like Lawrence, where I lived last, college town, so a lot of those folks. But there's the hardcore enthusiasts. They're like me. They've got several tanks, and they're coming in and they're buying stuff. You've got the people, you've got the 7-year-olds that want a tank, and whether or not they continue to be a customer a year from now, 2-3 years from now, is really going to, in my mind, dependent on how successful they are. There's something that I call the garage sale syndrome. You buy a tank, you fill it up, the fish die, you buy some more fish, those fish die, you clean it out, scrub it out, fill it up, and the fish die, and the thing's in the garage sale, right? I bought a lot of tanks at garage sales. I want to get rid of that. I want to solve that problem. So.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was an unforgettable finale, and I think we all know why that fish tank was in Finding Nemo in the dentist's office now. If Tanquility Aquarium captured your imagination, don't forget to vote now. You can do so by scanning the QR code or going to slido.com at home. Now, I will release our judges to deliberate while they determine our first, second, and third place winners. You have 10 more minutes to cast your vote for People's Choice $5,000 award. Vote for Coach K9 Training Academy, Ben Wranglers, Freaking Delicious Cheesecake, Great Bend Play Place, or Tanquility Aquarium. Now, while our judges go back to deliberate and you cast your votes, we can check in with some of our last year's winners. Now, I would like to invite to the stage Rue Rituals and Proper Boards and Picnics.
Can you hear us? Are we turned off? Are we turned off?
I turned mine off. So.
Thank you. A little less nervous this year.
Oh, well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Paxton with Proper Boards and Picnics. And we also have Danielle with Rue Rituals. Now, thank you very much. Last year, you guys were winners of Ignite 2024. Paxton, you were second place prize. Tell us how winning Ignite has impacted your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always happy to talk about it. First and foremost, I want to lead with, obviously, yes, the $30,000 impacted my business greatly, and I'll definitely tell you about that. But everything leading up to it, like the coaching, I know a lot of these contestants mentioned Susan Pinka, who is like an absolute wonder woman. I worked with her as well. Really helped me hone in on the business plan and more of the long-term plan for Proper. So, that helped me miles away. As far as the $30,000 goes, I have been able to purchase a really great marketing plan through Eagle Media. Thank you, Shannon. Yes. And then not only that, but I have been able to purchase a large commercial refrigerator. And then really, honestly, what has made the most difference is just having catering equipment that has helped me be able to produce at scale. I think maybe it was in September, I was able to already surpass my previous year's sales just because I'm able to, crank things out. I don't know if any of you have ever watched me set up like a grazing table, but when I was first doing it, I was using like plastic storage containers and like coolers that you would tote to the lake. And now I have a lot of equipment that really helps me like cut down on the amount of time and energy spent doing those things. So I'm able to, tackle 2 or 3 grazing tables in a day instead of just one. So, I really credit the Ignite money with helping me, just do business at scale and the demand that has been in Great Bend for the charcuterie board business.
I would also like to point out those in the VIP section, you do have Proper Boards and Picnics up there. If you have not tasted the good mustard yet, highly encourage you do that.
Yes, and also I just got some new hot pepper bacon jam. So if you've had my boards before, I do a lot of Mike's Hot Honey, which is one of my personal faves. But long story, but my mom and I were in Florida. We got a charcuterie board down there, and I found this hot pepper bacon jam. So if you like that, please let me know, and I'll keep it on the boards.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Paxton. Now, Danielle with Rue Rituals, you have competed at Ignite twice. Last year, you walked away with the 3rd place prize and People's Choice. Tell us how it's impacted your business.
It has helped us grow significantly. We've almost doubled our numbers from what we did last year. It's also helped us spread awareness that we are here. We still get that a lot. We drive by all the time and we still don't know. But it has just helped us bring so much new city stuff to Great Bend, which is exciting.
Yes. Tell us about some of the things that you did with the money that you won from last year.
So yes, we were able to purchase the infrared sauna, which if you haven't tried, definitely try it. It is the Heal All box. And we get lots of compliments on it, but we were also able to update the front end of our retail selection. So when you come in, it is more welcoming and homey, and it just makes you feel like you're in a spa. It's also helped us spread awareness on, social media, the radio with Eagle, all sorts of stuff.
Now, do you feel like you guys would be in the same place having not competed in Ignite from last year?
Definitely not. I mean, I think it really helped spread brand awareness, just being involved in Ignite, being on stage, like getting the word out to the masses. So, not only that, but I think, I would have had to much more slowly build up to using bigger catering equipment and nicer refrigerators. Commercial refrigerators are very expensive. I don't know if you've ever priced them, but I feel sorry for you if you have. So, I see Ignite just having sped up a more long-term vision. So, things that may have taken me 5 years to do, I was able to do a little more quickly and, sling a lot more cheese and salami in Great Bend, given the $30,000 that I won. And, again, the business plan with Susan Pinka. I don't know if Susan is watching, but you're an angel. Thank you.
I also feel like it helped excite us. I know for me, it was a lot of excitement knowing people, even voted for us for People's Choice. It was like, we're not the only ones in this. Like, we actually have supporters and people, too, that are excited to share that dream and experience the stuff that we're bringing to Great Bend and working day in and day out to do this stuff.
Now, we're going to give you a free moment to tell the people this is your advertise what you do exactly. Paxton, you can go first.
Awesome. This is so fun.
I should have started with that. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So I own Proper Boards and Picnics. It's a charcuterie board business. My initial vision was to also do like glamping style picnics, but y'all have kept me way too busy with charcuterie boards, so I haven't been able to do as much as the picnics. But I also do grazing tables. The largest one that I have ever done was for a wedding. It was about 12 foot long. You can get on my website, properboards.com, and check out some pictures from some different things. But I also do like very small individual boards. More recently, I have started just doing like surprise pop-ups on my page where I say, hey, I've got 30 boards, 30 small individual boards available for the next day. You can come and pick them up. At Perks Coffee Shop is usually where I set up shop. So I do that. You can keep an eye on my Facebook page for more information about that if you're interested in like a little lunch, treat yourself type of thing. And then I also just expanded my menu, which was something that I said I was going to do last year when I was going through Ignite. I added some like slider style sandwiches to my menu. I formally added fruit boards and vegetable boards as well, and then also some dips. So, you know, with that, I'm mostly aiming to help round out the boards for like people that are looking for more of a meal style option instead of just an appetizer. So, you know, just expanded a little bit of my menu to make that more of an option for more people.
Thank you, Paxton. Danielle, tell us about some of your services that people can partake in.
Yes, so at Re-Rituals, we are a medical spa. So we offer massages, we offer body sculpting, which is a new addition. We have our infrared sauna. We have B12 shots, immunity shots. We also offer IV therapy as well as medical facials, and the list just keeps going on. We try to bring everything self-care to this town because everyone deserves it, and we love when people come in, and we love when they leave because we get nothing but great reviews, and it is just a little peaceful inside.
I have been, and you should go.
Thank you, ladies, for letting us know how business is going so far and letting everybody know how great Ignite has been for the business. We also need to mention last year's first place winner, First Response and Restoration. They could not be here tonight, but they are doing great things and still moving forward with their business.
Well, Shannon, I'm pretty sure our judges are getting close, but we haven't gotten a card yet here letting us know about a People's Choice winner. So we're going to keep talking.
I love that. I love that.
For those of you that don't know, my name is Sarah Arnberger. I've been running around in the back and did not plan to come out on stage. But, you know, our judges like to take a little bit longer than we anticipate sometimes because it's a tough decision.
Last year,
since we had some technical difficulties, I did want to take the opportunity to be our commercial for Great Bend Economic Development. So on behalf of Great Bend Economic Development, we really enjoy that we get to put on this program every year, that we get to inspire and promote and support entrepreneurs in our community. So thank you all for coming out so much. Thank you for supporting these entrepreneurs. I will tell you, before I came back here, we were already at 734 People's Choice votes. So thank you to those of you watching too for really taking the time to invest in the future of Great Bend and these entrepreneurs. So thank you. Let's have a round of applause for all of you.
Now, if you will look at this beautiful stage, we talked about the set being made by Barton Community College. Now, the plants you will find at Kelly's Garden Sense. They like to put a lot of time and effort in their plants, and if you have any questions when it comes to plant care, Kelly's Garden Sense is a fantastic place to go. They also do workshops throughout the year, so you should check her out, Kelly's Garden Sense. You can find her. It's the Diamond in the Dirt out by the old golf course here in Great Bend.
Shannon,
People's
I have
Choice.
a card.
I
have a card.
People's Choice.
Are we ready to hear the People's Choice winner walking away with $5,000 tonight?
I think we are.
Okay, contestants backstage, if you hear your name, please come on out so we can applaud you for People's Choice winner. And that winner is Brad Fancher with Tranquility Aquarium. Brad, I have nothing to hand you at this time, but you're going to walk away with a lovely check for $5,000. Congratulations and thank you. Brad, we're going to let you.
It sounds like Brad has a fan club out here today. Thank you guys so much for voting. I cannot wait to see what he does with it.
I know. I'm thinking that maybe I'm going to need fish. I don't know.
I think I might too.
Well, if Brad's going to take care of them.
If he tells me that I can't kill a beta,
my husband is at home right now saying,
it.
I don't think so.
Same.
But
Same.
We'll see.
Don't bring another animal home is what I'm hearing. All right, we also need to thank PAR Lighting and Sound. They have done a phenomenal job tonight keeping us going and keeping us looking great. You can find some over here. We've got Gary behind the curtain. Wave behind, it's the man behind the curtain.
He was going to wear a wig for you all and reenact his rock days, but I don't know what happened.
We also want to give a big shout out to my friends at Eagle Media. We are broadcasting this live, So I got our camera guys out here. Thank them so much for coming down and helping us put on this fantastic event. Also, Brandon Steiner, he is out snapping the photos of everybody so we can have memories from this night to keep on going. And all of the participants that have come out on the stage tonight have done such a great job. Getting up on stage in front of people is not the easiest thing to do. So, again, give them another round of applause. They can hear you in the back still, and we are very excited to see who is going to be walking away with these checks. So first place prize is $50,000. We've mentioned that before. Second place is $30,000. And then third place is $10,000. Brad already took home $5,000, so $95,000 that is being spent on businesses coming here to Great Bend and Barton County and surrounding areas. So thank you so much for sticking with us so far. I'm pretty excited to see who wins. I don't know about you guys, but I think all of them should come to the town. I think they're all going to continue to go and move forward and bring their businesses here. Sarah?
Shannon, are we still talking about plants?
No, we are not. We're talking about who's going to win the money.
Okay, well, we might want to go back to the plants because they're not done yet.
Okay.
I was just back there, and I will tell you, they're having a hard time. We give them 10 minutes every year, and I think I can promise you that we have gone over that 10 minutes every year.
Single time.
Yes.
Every single time.
But we are close, and this is a good sign because they think that they're all really wonderful businesses and want to see them in action here in Great Bend. So they promised me 30 more seconds. What do we want to talk about for 30 seconds?
I would like to plug an amazing event that is happening downtown on Forest Avenue next Friday. Now, I'm sure some of you guys have heard about Fridays on Forest. Woohoo! It usually happens on the final Friday of Forest, but this year we have Halloween and a few other things that have come in the way, so we're moving it up. It will be this coming Friday, downtown on Forest Avenue. I highly suggest you come down, bring all your friends, your family, the kids. It's a great time to bring the family out and get downtown and have some fun in Great Bend. That's good, right? Nice plug for Eco Depot. Which order are we going?
There we go.
All right. Second.
All right. We're going to start with our third place winner.
Third place winner.
Our third place winner will be taking home $10,000 to start their business.
Woo!
And that is Brad Fancher with Tranquility Aquarium.
Woo! Brad,
thank you again and congratulations. We are so excited to see Tranquility in downtown Great Bend. Thank you. Step right on over here.
Walking away with $15,000, partially thanks to you, and then thanks to these lovely judges. Now, second place prize is going to a wonderful business. I am so excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Are you guys excited? Who is going to win $30,000? It is Coach K9 Academy. Woo! I was hoping the whole crew was going to come back out.
Yes, if this is any indication of how great she is, these dogs have been back here for about 20 minutes and they've been doing wonderful. Congratulations, you guys. We are so excited to see you expand your business. Yeah, congratulations
$30,000 to expand. Congratulations, guys. All right.
I don't know. Are we going to do it?
It has come down to the first place prize. I know you guys are all sitting on the edge of your seats wondering who is going to win it. So should we go to our next sponsor video?
Oh, yeah, should we? All right. Our first place winner taking home $50,000 tonight, Freakin' Delicious Cheesecake.
Woo!
Way to go, Allie and Freakin' Delicious Cheesecake. We're so proud of you.
Have your moment.
That's our 2025 Ignite, everyone. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks so much for coming. Yay!
Request for Allie's son to come up on stage, please, for pictures. Thank you.